we move to the top, we're rising. From undercover, future wealth providing. Bringing together men and women with knowledge. We stay vibing like the kids in college. Creating new lanes, showing no pity. Unity wins, this is for our kids. We knew Jax Citi. Yeah, yeah. We knew Jax Citi. Yeah, we knew Jax Citi. We knew Jax Citi. Yeah, they call us New Jax Citi. Yeah, yeah.
Yo, what it is, people? I'm Israel Allen, co-founder and field manager for Sunshine Venture Group.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm Chris Allen. I'm co-founder as well and CEO, co-CEO of Sunshine Venture Group. And we're also on the advisory board for New Jax Citi Capital. This podcast is brought to you by New Jax Citi Capital.
Hey, good morning, man. It's another beautiful day. We out here on the west side of Jacksonville. Some people, if you know, it's Paxson, the Paxson area.
And this is another property that we just acquired, and we plan on gutting out everything, putting everything new roof, new flooring, as you guys will see.
Making it a beautiful, beautiful home for the neighborhood, man. We see a lot of changes going around in the neighborhood, so we want to put our foot in it.
Yep, put our foot down, put our stamp. So we actually gonna be educating you guys on some of the stuff we did, how we acquired the deal, what brought us into, you know, acquiring properties like this.
Yep.
And we just want to show you guys some tips that you want to look out for when you're trying to look to acquire homes via fix and flip.
Fix and
or if
flip.
you want to do buy and hold.
Buy and hold.
Even if you want to do wholesaling.
Wholesaling.
So we're just gonna let you know what our thinking was into acquiring this property.
This certain property, hey, you may even hear a good story or two.
Well, this actually is a property that we had acquired via, this was on our absentee list.
Yeah,
this is an absentee owner. He actually stayed in Dubai. So we just had to figure out how to solve his problem. And the problem on this one was he had his son living there. I was going to say that he had.
Hold on, before you get in the spill, bro, let them know the time difference what we had to catch up with this man as far as communication.
Yeah, man, it was a 9-hour difference. Sometimes you're gonna go through problems like that to where you have to figure out what's the best way to communicate with the seller. On this one, I know a lot of people probably tried to call him, and it was always a discrepancy because he was way in Dubai, and I so happened to call him. It was around 7 o'clock in the morning, which allowed it to be around 2 in the afternoon where he was at.
Exactly.
So you just gotta try to be creative. Sometimes everything don't work out at first. We had to call him like 8 times.
Yeah.
But when he finally answered, man, he was a real nice guy. He ended up wanting to sell, and he actually was dealing with a problem tenant.
Yep.
And we ended up finding out that it was his son.
Yep.
You know, so he had to do an eviction, and we had to wait through that process. Miss Terry over at Dwayne Romanello. That's a good reference if anybody.
Highly recommend it.
Exactly. If anybody looking for a good attorney to do evictions, just holler at Miss Terry Witcher. She's at Dwayne Romanello. So moving forward, we had to wait about 3 weeks for the eviction to go through, and it's a funny story because the seller actually came from Dubai to meet us at the closing table, and man, it was the best feeling in the world for him.
Yeah.
We got the lead that came in from one of our cold callers.
Ricardo, man, he's a rock star. Get you a good VA, man.
And just to segue into cold callers, man, you want to always make sure you vet your cold callers.
Yeah.
We have different ways, man. We went through a whole line of different cold callers. We used to go through, you can go through sites like Fiverr.com. You can go through sites like Upwork.com. You can go to Indeed. You can just go through, word of mouth through credible people that you know. You know, not just not just anybody that you met off the internet and they send you an invoice saying, hey, I got cold callers.
Definitely, if you're gonna get a cold call off of word of mouth, make sure that the source is very credible. Because guys, cold calling is a vital part of your business if you're going to do real estate investing, as far as finding a good deal that's below market, that you'll be able to get enough equity into it to where you can do the things that you want to do. So yeah, cold calling is very important, and finding a great cold caller, that's even more important.
Because cold calling is the big part to lead generation. Lead generation is your soil. That is how you be able to plant your seeds and let the seeds flourish into trees. You know, because lead generation, we break our company down into 3 forms. You know, you have lead generation. You have conversion, which is converting those leads into deals. And then you have dispositions, which is your exit strategies. So you always want to make sure the foundation, which is your soil and lead generation, is always on point within data and with your cold callers. And so with cold callers, it took us about a few months of just tweaking different cold callers, letting them call for a month, and if they're not blowing through, if they're like just blowing through leads and blowing through calls, but not having leads coming in, after 30 days, then that's when you want to dismiss them, or however what feels for you. You can wait 6 weeks. Me personally, if you ain't sending no leads in 30 days, that's enough time to be able to understand, especially after we trained you. That's enough time to know if you have a good cold caller or not.
And monitoring them as well is very vital into it, because after you train these guys, you're looking for these guys to lead generate, do what you hired them to do. So a lot of these guys, they can seem like they're working, but once you start to check your KPIs and everything like that, you see, hey, hold on, and you in the playroom, the film room, like the KPIs. Let me back up real quick. The KPIs is another form of pretty much tracking your numbers, tracking.
KPIs, it stands for key performance indicators. So you always want to make sure you're on track with all of your KPIs, basically knowing how many calls they took to get leads, how many,
what list that they're using,
what list was they using. You want to track these certain numbers, that way you can be able to scale, because eventually you don't want to be working in your business, you want to be working on your business.
And believe me, we've worked in our business, so anything that's what we tell our virtual assistants. Anything that we're teaching you, that's something that we've already done. I remember like 2 years in, just cold calling myself, I've got cussed out numerous of times. I could tell you some stories to where even I've gotten up like, oh no, you ain't talking to me. I'm coming to where you at. Click. But man, it just comes with the territory. And like a couple of our mentors said, you're not really doing nothing until you get cussed out when you're making a call.
Especially if you're cold calling, because you got to think of the word. I don't even like to use the word cold calling, because I like to use the word prospecting or
exactly, prospecting
or money making hour. Try to figure out different words you can
make
use
it fun,
so it won't feel like a dread. Because you hear the word cold calling, first it's cold, like anything that's cold is heartless. Like, cold, and then so cold calling really is a cold lead. That's someone that you don't even know if it's a hot lead. You're actually calling them yourself, so you can vet them and turn that cold lead into a warm lead, and then that warm lead into a hot lead in the deal.
Right.
So, we like to always teach, and here's another gem when we talk about cold callers. You always want to first hire your first cold caller, and if you have a rock star, you want to always give them opportunity to grow in your company.
Exactly.
Because if you have a rock star, you can teach them to train other cold callers, so you can make it scalable.
Yep, exactly. Not necessarily switching their position is their rock star, but giving them a sense of ownership to their position that they're killing it in. Like he said, you want to get them in the position to train other cold callers, but make sure that he's the head guy, because he's great at what he's doing. He's not in a new field to where he's confused, and he'd be able to get on with the work that's already asked to be performed.
Yep, because with cold calling, even if you want to hire yourself, which we recommend you can do that with your first cold caller, but as you're starting to try to scale, you want to continue doing the things that's profitable for your company, which is talking with sellers.
Exactly.
So we don't want you spending too much time, because hey, trust me, we've done this, where you're spending too much time training each person, and then now it's taken away from you making offers.
Fake busy work.
Yep. So you always want to delegate, so you want to scale, so you want to scale it, you want to duplicate so you can innovate,
Exactly. And guys, quick little nugget. When you guys are making them calls, when you're starting to do it yourself, my brother and I, we like to go off the condition, the motivation, the timetable, and the price. The condition of the property, letting them know what's going on with the property, finding as much information as you can, and then the motivation. Hey man, why are you looking to sell this property? What can we do to make this as easy as possible? And then the time frame. Hey, what time are you looking to get this done? If we can work out a deal to where me and you can move forward, what time do you need to get everything out and get situated as far as finding new things? And then of course the price. What price are we looking to get this thing going for that's good for you and good for me, that we can be able to push through?
We like to call it CMTP, condition, motivation, time frame.
That's what it was. I had a brain fart. I
got you.
Yeah, that's why he got my back. That's why I love working with this man, because he got my back and I got his back. He the yin and I'm the yang. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people, some people will say, oh, you don't want to work with family, that's a knock, but it's all on the preference of the person you're dealing with,
Yep.
Because like you said, with my brother and I, we always had entrepreneur spirit. So everyone's not an entrepreneur. So you want to make sure that the person has an entrepreneur spirit, you know? And I'm not saying that's not something that can't be taught, So I don't want to discourage anybody who starts off in the working field. I started off in the working field. You still want to have that entrepreneur itch. And if you don't have it, you also can be trained into it. So I don't want to discourage anybody who don't start off as an entrepreneur.
Exactly. Because man, working with my brother it's an easy transition to comfortability as far as motivation and holding myself accountable, because this man already know me. We've grown up together, so he can be able to tell me stuff that a lot of people wouldn't be able to tell me in a way that I can understand it, and vice versa. But that doesn't mean that he's easy on me. This man get on my case. This man let me know why he's explaining it as the same way as I let him know. Every morning we have focus meetings. Every morning we talk about how we're going to get our day started. We speak life into each other. We ask about our families and what's going on. We get into the important stuff before we get into the work stuff, i.e. our mental, our spirituality, what's going on. Before we can get everything, we would knock out everything before we can get to the main thing, which is knocking out these deals, creating wealth, and providing for our families. So I couldn't be more ecstatic than to work with my brother, man, because at the end of the day, it's still a good time, because this is my main man.
So moving on, now that led us up to this point. We're doing the complete renovations. As you see, we got the dumpster in the front. We're getting ready to do the roof. That's always something we like to attack first. And my brother can go a little more in detail on some of the renovations that we're going to do and why we decided to use our exit strategy.
Yes. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to go with the burst strategy. I'm pretty sure you guys seen that on the last episode. So with this one, we have a couple of different strategies that we wanted to attack on this one. Before we started to build rapport with the seller, we was looking to just go with it with the short game, as far as getting the property, doing our due diligence, and maybe assigning it out. But after we did our due diligence, we figured, hey, the numbers work for us, so we're gonna try to not even try, we're getting this, and we're gonna put love into it, and then we're gonna refi out of it, and then we're gonna do it, rinse it, and then we're gonna repeat it. So right now, we got our guys right now starting on the roof. That's the first process. And then after that, we're gonna get into phase 2, which is making sure that all our permits or everything are properly in their thing, and not in their thing, but properly in order, so we can start on the next phase. I'm sorry about that, I'm a little country, so y'all gonna have to forgive me, but guess what? It's all coming in informative love. So after that, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna make sure our permits are pulled, and then we're gonna make sure that the foundation is solid. And after that, we're gonna go on with our plumbing, electrical, and so on and so forth. So right now, I'm in a good mood because, as you see, we have the dumpster here. The roof is already in process, so that's a good thing. So this is gonna be a great strategy for my brother and I. Like you said, we're doing the burst strategy. to where we're gonna fix it up and we're gonna get it appraised, and we're gonna after that we're gonna cash out and we're gonna refi.
And just to speak on a little bit of the numbers, I'm sorry we kind of glossed over that, but just to break down the numbers, we had first we was talking with the seller. The original price was $80,000, but seeing that it needed quite a bit of work, you know, his son had trashed up the place real bad. It had a crazy smell, had the dogs in the front. You'd have thought it was a trap house. But man, we end up coming through and seeing that it was quite a few more adjustments we had to do with the pricing.
Yeah.
And the seller was all for it because of the convenience and the speed.
And he didn't want to deal with the headache.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants to deal with a headache of evicting their own family member.
Right,
so,
right.
As you know, that can get real tedious and it can cause division.
Yep.
So with that being said, we was able to attack the problem. So anytime when you're doing real estate, don't always look at the money. Try to look at what kind of problem I can solve. You know, sometimes it can be speed, sometimes it can be convenience.
It can be time.
Yep, it can be time. Sometimes it can be the fact that you have the funds to be able to do the renovations, and they might don't have that at the time. So in this particular moment, it was the speed and convenience and the fact that he didn't want to deal with an eviction.
Right.
So we was able to get a reduction on the price. Well, we never had it under contract until we got the numbers straight. So we ended up meeting at the agreements at $60,000. So we was able to take this property down, and as you can see in this neighborhood, you already have a nice house across the street. You already have a lot of good development that's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So we already have it appraised at around 131, 141. So our whole strategy in this moment is to put about $40,000 into the property, and then we're going to refinance and then keep it as a long-term strategy.
Yes.
Can I get the screenshot? Can I get the screenshot?
And the screenshot. This is why I'm happy. This is why I'm happy that the dumpster here. Soon as this guy got the job, he hopped out the car, hopped on the roof.
Exactly. So this is just one of the many properties that we're doing, and as you guys get an update in I'll say about 2 months, this property will be completely done. We like to aim for 6 weeks.
A month?
Really, a month really, but in about 6 weeks, just to kind of buffer everything, we like to have everything done and refied out. Of course, you have your 60-day seasoning period. It all according to your bank or to your lender. I advise you guys to check with your bank or lender and see what the seasoning time is before you jump into anything. But on this particular case, we have a 60-day seasoning, so we're going to wait 2 months. Really, it's a 90-day seasoning, so we're going to wait 2 months, and then we're going to start the refi process.
Yeah.
But as we take you through this, we'll see you all the work that we're going to plan to do. And if you guys have any questions, you can sign up to New Jax Citi Capital and ask whatever questions. And if myself or my brother see it, or if any members see it, we will gladly help you out.
Yes, and also guys, on April 15th, we'll be doing a mixer as well. So man, look into New Jax Citi Capital, man, and if you got any questions, that'll be the perfect place to get your answer that you're looking for.
And so we'll get into the neighborhood and why we chose, because as you see, we're in the Paxton area.
Paxton.
And this is a growing neighborhood.
Yep.
And you can, anytime you see renovations or if you see dumpsters around the neighborhood, every other house you see dumpsters, or if you see people taking pride in their neighborhood, and you'll start to realize that values are going up. So we chose this neighborhood because this is a rising, growing neighborhood. It's a great rental area. Also, it's a great homeowner area.
Exactly.
So we decided like it's time to start investing, and we've even hired people from the neighborhood that's going to help clean out. So we're providing jobs.
Exactly.
You know, we just met a guy
keeping it in the
He
community.
has a cleaning service, and he's going to come clean it out. So you never know. Just from being at the job site, we end up catching someone who's going to clean out this property, and we still providing service in the community.
Exactly.
All right, and as we get into it, when you want to recognize a flourishing neighborhood, you want to drive around, you want to see dumpsters in the yard. If you
Exactly.
see dumpsters, because that means renovations is going
Different contractors, different trailers.
And just another gem, you want to connect with realtors in the area. You want to call up them and add value. You want to let them know, hey, I'm an investor, I'm thinking of buying in this area, and they'll send you some comparables. They'll send you comps of what's going on in the area.
Yeah.
They'll send you rent rates.
So you so you pretty much have a good idea of what you're getting into.
Of what properties are renting for. So like we said, it always boils down to networking, you know. So you want to network with different realtors. You want to drive around the community, see dumpsters. You want to jump out the car and talk with some of those contractors. If you see someone doing a roof, or and you ask them, and trust me, these guys willing to talk.
Right,
They'll
talk
tell
to
you
people.
Everything about their life. They'll
Brent
tell
Daniels.
you, investor. They'll tell you, hey man, this guy, man, I'm actually doing roofs for him. He has 5 houses on the same street.
Exactly.
So now you'll end up meeting a fellow investor, and you'll know that this is a flourishing market.
Exactly, you know? Man. It just roll into it. It just come to you sometimes.
This is some of the stuff we're planning on clearing all this out.
Right. Look at this backyard though, right?
Nice space. Nice space.
Beautiful, right?
We're in the process of getting the roof done. We're gonna get both roofs done. You see it was a metal roof on there. We're just gonna switch it to architectural shingles.
Yep.
And then the main roof will be solid metal.
Yep.
But as you look around, we're gonna clean all this out. We're gonna keep that garage at the main bin, but that's gonna be turned into a mother-in-law suite. That's just another way to add rental income. If the neighborhood calls us for it, it's a good way to add good affordable living in the neighborhood. You know,
exactly.
It's hard for people to find affordable housing. So if it makes sense, you want to check and make sure that it fits for the code of that neighborhood. But if it does, man, it's a great hack. I don't even want to say hack. It's a great way to be innovative and creative to get better ROIs on your properties.
Exactly.
So as you can see back here, guys, there's no AC unit, but it's up front. That was the thing. Like we walked around this house and we was like, hold on, there's no AC unit. But I know people that's in California, y'all are used to it. But
if you're familiar with the West Coast, the AC units always be on the roof.
It's on the roof, so it's a good AC. So that actually saved the money.
We did get this. We did get this from a guy who travels the world, man. We just told you guys that this guy was in Dubai when we did the deal.
So you want to always make sure your foundation is solid, man. The one thing that helped sell us on this deal, because it was concrete block. Anytime you have concrete block or brick, that adds about 10% in value over a wood frame house.
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
It varies. It can be 10 to 15%, but that's a great difference, and that's and it's a safe bet because you're not going to deal with termites. You're not going to deal with
rotten wood.
Rotten wood.
All that.
So not saying that we don't buy wood frame, but if you can catch you a brick or a concrete block, that's going to be much better with your expenses.
Yep. Exactly.
The last seller, they had dogs all in the yard, so it was fleas. So we have to get the exterminators out here, and we're gonna clean all this.
Yeah, that's the reason why we're probably not gonna have you guys go inside, man. We don't want a big flea to jump on the camera, and then now everybody looking crazy.
But like you said, our main expenses in this house is gonna be the roof, it's gonna be the electrical,
and the plumbing,
and it's gonna be the plumbing. Everything else is pretty much cosmetic based. This is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, roughly around 1,000 square feet. We thought about adding a second bathroom because you always want to have a 3-2 in this day and age, but we didn't want to compromise the integrity of the flow of the house.
Yeah.
You know, you still don't want to just box people in and have them.
Yeah. We still want people to have some space.
Yep. So we was contemplating, and we decided to leave it as a 3-1. But we definitely will keep you guys updated. We have a few windows that's going to be quite expensive as well. We might update some of the windows. So we was debating on whether we just change out the front windows,
or
and then as we start generating income, we change out the rest, or if we just go ahead and put new windows around the whole property.
Right.
We're gonna switch out the windows. We're gonna do the roof. We're gonna do electrical. We're gonna do the plumbing. We're gonna redo all the flooring.
Drywall.
Yep, do drywall.
Redo the kitchen. Redo the bathroom.
Upgrade the electrical panel.
Pull up that carpet.
Pull up carpet. It's fleas everywhere, so we clean out is gonna
Add
be the
new
first
carpet
thing
for
we
the
do.
bedrooms. We're gonna do new flooring for the new laminate floorings.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a nice, beautiful home, man. And like
Pressure
I said,
wash.
we're gonna birth this thing out. It's gonna be part of the birth strategy, and we'll keep you guys updated on the process of this. So we're excited to show you guys how this thing goes. Well, we enjoyed you guys, man. This is
Awesome conversation.
awesome conversation. I hope you guys learned some gems, cause there's plenty of nuggets, man. Rewind this, rewind it back.
Because we
It's right
dropped
there.
some chicken nuggets. Rewind it. We dropped some chicken nuggets. Just get you some Polynesian sauce.
You know what I'm saying? But man, it was a pleasure speaking with you guys, and we'll keep you updated on the project as it goes
In a few weeks.
in a few weeks.
This
So,
has been an elite conversation. This podcast has been brought to you by
New Jax City.
Yeah.
Guys, stay tuned.
Y'all come back now. You hear?